will be involved and a specific time frame for the battle. The news stunning some military intelligence officers who tell Fox News this information may help the enemy. Joining me now, retired Lieutenant General Tom McInerney is a Fox News contributor, and Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton is a member of the Armed Services Committee, as well as an Iraq and Afghanistan war veteran. So we had two Marks in the first segment. We have two Toms here. Thankfully, you guys have different titles, so I'll start with you, Senator, and you tell me whether this will help the enemy and why we do it.
Megan, it's good to be on with you. It's very mystifying why this administration would have revealed potential plans to retake Mosul. If a private in Iraq had revealed this kind of planning inadvertently by leaving a plan in the chow hall or the gym, he might have faced a court-martial. But it's now become a matter of policy that this administration is going to announce war plans in advance. It only increases the risk. You have to wonder, given the timing, right after the summit on countering violent extremism, if this is the administration trying to get a PR win, since this summit hasn't produced anything other concrete to justify the president's failures in counteracting the Islamic State in Iraq and
General
Syria.
McInerney, do you agree? Because they're saying in April this may happen. It's like February. Why would we be announcing that tonight?
Oh, I agree with Senator Cotton. It's absolutely bewildering. We are aiding and abetting the enemy. I do not understand why the president and the administration want to aid and abet the enemy.
Could it be to inspire, the enemy to do something different between now and then, like get out of Mosul?
Well, maybe. But the way they have been acting, they're not going to get out of Mosul. They're going to stay probably, and it's still going to expose our forces to certain risk because they're going to be doing a lot of defensive preparations, IEDs, different force positions, knowing an attack is coming, all those kind of things that are going to make our troops more vulnerable. So again, it's aiding and abetting the enemy, and I don't understand why they're doing it, Megan.
You know, Senator Cotton, we've had so much discussion over these past few days about whether this president needs to name the enemy as radical Islam, as so many generals, even administration officials under Barack Obama have come out and said he needs to do it. I mean, today the New York Post hit him, putting a blindfold on him, suggesting he doesn't understand that it's Islamic terror. You can see that. But the administration says, I'm not going to quibble over the language. We're not going to play into the terrorist propaganda. That's why we don't say it. What say you?
Megan, it's essential if you want to defeat an enemy to name what that enemy is. And our enemy is not some kind of undefined violent extremists. It's a strain of radical Islam that is trying to kill us here in the United States and to kill Americans and our allies all around the world.
But why do you need to say it? What do the troops care whether we say that?
Our troops at every level need strong and confident leadership. And if you're not willing to call your enemy what it is, you're emboldening that enemy. You're making the Islamic State a stronger force that plays into the myth that America is a paper tiger that doesn't have the courage to even call our enemy what it is. And also, it's repeating the pattern that this president has of underestimating our enemies. Just a month ago, he taunted Vladimir Putin in the State of the Union. Now Vladimir Putin controls more of Ukraine than he did a month ago. A year ago, he called the Islamic State the JV team. If we're not willing to call our enemy what it is and confront it on its own terms, then our enemy knows that it's on the offensive, and that's why it's recruiting so many jihadis from around the world.
You know, General McInerney, President Obama said that it's not playing into their hands. It's refusing to play into their hands. They want us to say we're at war with radical Islam or Islam because that's their message to recruit people. America is against Islam. Come join with us. That's how the president explained it.
Well, that's why I disagree with them. When he doesn't know the threat he's fighting, radical Islam, that's why he and his State Department spokesman talk about jobs and talk about this all soft power type stuff.
What do you think that does to the troops? I mean, you talk to these guys. What do you feedback, if any, do you hear on that?
They're astounded that the Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, does not know what the threat is. And that's why they're doing the wrong things. Look, when a mother convinces a 12-year-old son to be a shaheed, a martyr, and blow himself up and kill 200 innocent women and children, that is not getting him a job is not going to deter him from doing that. You have got to go and address the ideological problem, and that means go to Mecca and Medina and the mosques and get them to change it and say, this is insane, this is wrong, we need to change, as President al-Sisi and King Abdullah of Jordan are saying. We need to be enlisting those people as well as the King of Saudi Arabia and get them involved.
Senator Cotton, let me ask you, do you think that with respect to the military disclosures we just made, I mean, because to suggest that this was done for, political cover in the wake of this summit, which has caused some controversy, is rather cynical. I mean, it impugns the motives of the administration that they might endanger our troops just to cover the president's backside politically. Do you stand by that? Is that what you're implying?
Megan, there are many reports from many generals and admirals, active duty and retired, who say that the president and his senior West Wing advisors are micromanaging this war to a degree that they have never seen before. And unfortunately, when the president has a summit on countering violent extremism and they talk about social workers and the fact that we won't even name their enemy, and then they, right on the heels of that, they reveal very sensitive war plans that are going to put our troops and Iraqi troops at greater risk, it invites that kind of analysis.
Got to run. Good to see you both. Thank you. We are